where they put a lot of money, towards these independent exclusives they were getting for the Xbox One. So,
but would you call? I mean, like what specifically is Scalebound an indie title because it's Platinum and not Microsoft? Or I guess MGS is technically publishing Scalebound, but like is Cuphead's independent?
Cuphead is indie, yeah.
Right.
And then you've also got these other indie groups that are being supported and financed through AAA developers. Like Square Enix has, their whole indie side that they're doing now. I forgot what the initiative is called, but Indie Initiative or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just look at it like movies. Once a studio like 20th Century Fox gives you money, I think you cease to be independent. Because there are independent artists who kill themselves trying to raise any kind of money.
Yeah.
And there's a huge difference between borrowing money from family and friends or going to someone who can maybe, kick you $10,000 for a short film and, getting a check for millions of dollars from Universal Studios. So like, that's just how I look at it. I think it just depends. Sometimes you have these great studios or great developers rather in games who, they finance stuff independently or they raise money on their own and, they have autonomy over the project and creative control and all that. And, I think that would classify as being independent. So Kojima is kind of on the cusp of that. But I think if they're paying bills, I mean, I don't know.
If this says anything, if this makes you feel better, Alex, when I was going through these categories, though Death Stranding is now one of my most anticipated titles, I did not include it in my indie list.
Okay, well, that was more the question.
Neither did I include it in the AIM list in my overall list, and that's. Well, first of all, it's just because we just don't know enough about it. But yeah, right. Jason's right. It's kind of like right on the cusp. It's like a AA or I don't know.
But I thought it was
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting question because Alex brought that up earlier, that observation that he saw from some other outlets. And I don't know. I don't know how to take that.
Well, it's understandable. And I think the other thing is a lot of people classify these games as AAA or indie depending on the visuals as well. Mm-hmm. They'll say, "Oh, well, that looks like a AAA title," or right. this one's a 16-bit game, so it must be indie.
Yeah.
And Death Stranding looks fantastic, like it's visually stunning.
Yeah, they've got AAA money.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's too difficult to classify these things. It's kind of like, again, it's like genres for me. I can't really classify these games or most games in any one particular genre because they kind of bleed over into all the other genres. So,
yep, absolutely right.
I think we can have that discussion without, classifying Kojima as anything but like an auteur director for games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think he is. Like, regardless of who's paying for what, a guy like him, and there are, many people like that in the games industry. I think that's a different beast. So I'm not trying to say he's not an independent artist or anything. I just thought that Death Stranding through a deal with Sony, that, I don't know.
So
Alex, what was yours?
A top trailer?
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess jumping back, Death Stranding and RE7 were on there. And then my number one was actually Zelda. I've gone back and watched that one more than a couple times. And even though I spent tons of time going and watching all of the gameplay footage afterwards, I think it's a really well put together trailer. And I think it sold, as much as everything else did, it sold me on the game even more.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's so hard picking one trailer. How do you just pick one trailer out of everything we saw?
You don't. That's why I have 5.
Yeah, I threw Death Stranding in there just because it was the reveal for it. Because we'd already seen a lot of Zelda stuff. Well, not a lot, but we've seen some stuff so far. So that was the reason I put Death Stranding in. But yeah, man, whew. that Zelda trailer. Oh,
I actually,
gameplay, it was just.
I took Zelda. I removed Zelda from my list. I did, because my justification was when I first saw the trailer, I unfortunately was not as blown away as I wanted to be.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
But like all the gameplay stuff, like yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that. But for that reason, because stuff like Death Stranding, Resident Evil, I also have Detroit on my best trailer list.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like two runners up. I kind of cheated here.
You're cheating a lot here.
I'm cheating. This whole thing is a cheat.
I have 12 on my list. 11 runners up and one winner.
Well, okay, so like when it comes to trailers, I'm on the fence in terms of CGI trailers. Like I really enjoy watching CGI trailers. I think they can do a great job of introducing the world and the characters and setting a tone and an aesthetic and all that. But it's not gameplay. You know, I prefer gameplay trailers where we can really see what it would be like to play the game. But I do have like kind of like a subcategory is like best CGI trailer in my opinion, and I almost put it as maybe 1 or 2 on the best trailer list overall. Is actually the Halo Wars 2 trailer, which I thought was just the complete opposite of how I thought they would introduce this game or reintroduce this game to the masses. It's kind of, you know, very like introspective trailer, and it has like a general, I don't know who it was, a general on one side, human, and then like a brute captain or whoever on the other side of this battlefield. And they're like slowly marching toward each other, and the rest of the war has like slowed down. And it shows you like, you know, the different units and not characters, but like vehicles that you can play as and use in the game. But it's not representative of the game at all, aside from like character and tone and all that. And I was really impressed with that. So yeah, for me, like that's kind of a subcategory. Resident Evil's my number 1, then Death Stranding, Detroit, and then for a runner-up, I can't get it out of my head, and it's the Forza Horizon 3 trailer. I think it's okay. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, it really
very
is.
well put together.
Agreed.
I'm so impressed with the stuff I've seen from this game. This is the first Forza ever I'm actually maybe buying.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I like it. It had to be on the list. So that's what I got there. Any other trailers that you guys want to talk about, or any other list?
Yeah, and one of these is going to hurt you, Jason. But I do have my 2 worst trailers, and one of them I'm pretty sure y'all haven't seen.
Okay.
So one of them, the first one I'll say is Farpoint, the VR. And I know you thought that was really cool when they showed it, but what I saw and then, you know, the gameplay on the show floor, Farpoint, if anyone had seen it, it's the one that it's, you know, basically set on Mars. You're in this like desolate, barren desert, kind of like action survival thing. It just felt so bland and so generic.
Okay.
And
that's disappointing.
Nothing really stuck out to me. Like, I like the idea and the concept, but the presentation to me was just kind of blah.
Okay.
Just kind of lukewarm.
I get that, especially since I haven't seen like the game running.
Yeah,
I only saw the polished trailer.
Yeah, and it looked a little rough, you know, especially whether you're playing it or watching it. Like it just doesn't feel good. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's a little like, and it's still in the works, but like watching the gun like bounce around, it looks like somebody's like having a seizure while they're holding the gun, and that was probably just maybe a couple people have an issue with that. It just nothing stuck out about it. There just wasn't anything special about it. So I guess that's not really worse. It was kind of But the worst, I'll say, I really love the anime Berserk, and it's one of my favorite anime. You know, growing up, it's kind of like medieval and really bloody and gory, and it's a really cool action one. If you haven't seen it, the trailer is really awkward. It's basically a camera panning around this voluptuous nude woman, and it doesn't quite show the nipple. It doesn't quite show any of the nether regions, but like it like slowly is panning around, and as it's panning around, these slimy tentacles are wrapping its way around the woman in very strange areas, and it felt like I was watching tentacle porn, which is a real thing. It was just a really weird trailer for a series that I do love. It's a really cool action anime series. But man, that trailer was just awful. I just felt awkward and gross watching it. It was really weird.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Look that up for just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So I'll just leave that at that. Y'all can look it up, listeners. Y'all can look it up if you want. Maybe the game will be great. Great series. I'm sure there's a lot they could do with it, but we'll see. That's from I think Koei Tecmo is putting that one out, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that a VR title? Is 4chan going to be real happy?
I have not seen any other information regarding it. I haven't looked, but I have not seen any other information about it besides that little teaser trailer they did. The tentacle porn teaser trailer. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It wouldn't be the only thing porn related at E3. Apparently, I don't know which companies, but I saw a NeoGAF that a couple porn companies had actually set up a booth.
Yeah,
to show off
there.
Porn VR.
They were quite crowded.
That's the other thing I saw. The lines were packed.
Yes, they were. Just the people's expressions as they were standing there, just waiting in line. It was just kind of funny. I didn't go over. I didn't check it out, but it was kind of funny.
A different type of gameplay, right?
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And speaking of gameplay,
oh, look at that transition!
You like that?
That was
very smooth.
So one of the other big parts about E3 at conferences and on the show floor is obviously the gameplay demos. Sometimes it's behind closed doors. Sony in the past and probably this year they have a theater basically set up where you can watch someone play a game, and then out on the booth proper, on the floor proper, you can play. You get hands-on with like independent titles, smaller titles. And then in conferences, we get to see these fantastic demonstrations. Sometimes they're not so hot. But I think it's an important element of the show, and it's quite different than just watching a trailer. Mm-hmm. So thus the distinction here. So Alex, you watched a lot. In terms of gameplay, what really stuck out? Either from a conference or other videos you saw.
Well, I guess I have to go back to two big ones that were on my trailer list as well. But as soon as that Resident Evil 7 announcement came out, I didn't get it that night, but the next morning I downloaded it and was jumping into it. And that exposure to that gameplay and using it just on a controller and just with the TV, it's got me so excited about it. And I'm just really eager to get the chance to try it with a VR headset.
See, I really want to know how the trailer reflects the actual game.
Right.
Similarly to PT, I didn't know if they were just going with a teaser, like just for fun, or if that's the actual gameplay. Because both Silent Hills and Resident Evil have always traditionally been third person.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But Resident Evil did say that the game was playable front to back in VR. But then again, Resident Evil has toyed with having third person and first person modes in their game. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping there will be a third person and a first person option.
Oh, see, I want to say I heard that it's first